Expect more. This is 6 News at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Leslie Draffin. Chris Radcliffe has the week off. Bell County hospitals are worried they could see another spike in COVID-19 cases in the next few weeks. Now health officials are sending a warning to Central Texans and a message to vulnerable Texans who are set to get that vaccine. 6 News reporter Andrew Moore has more.
We have our highest COVID utilization ever.
If we don't show some discretion around social distancing for New Year's holiday, that puts the hospitals in a real bad situation.
Bell County hospital leaders are urging the public to keep wearing masks and to social distance even during New Year's Eve celebrations. In a Bell County virtual press conference Tuesday, Health District Director Amanda Chadwell said more than 0.5% of the county population is affected by COVID by their projection, and that's too high.
It's not good. We have a lot of work to drive that down.
Meanwhile, hospitals are vaccinating staff, and the Bell County Health District expects to see its first shipment of vaccine next week. The good news, more vulnerable Texans may get the vaccine in just a few weeks. People in Phase 1B, those over 65 or with certain medical conditions, can be vaccinated as soon as local providers believe the previous tier is taken care of.
So as we feel that we've cleared most of the second tier, we can flex to the next tier and start focusing on our at-risk population over 65.
The Texas Department of State Health Services has even released a COVID-19 vaccine provider map that shows what providers will be available. That helps the public know who to contact so they can ask when Phase 1B recipients can come in. But that's likely still a few weeks away, so hospitals are pleading with the public not to spread the virus on New Year's Eve.
We need to show some discipline in the next 2 weeks to just make sure we change the trajectory of what we're seeing right now. Yeah, there's concern.
In Bell County, Andrew Moore, 6 News.
And you can find the map of local COVID-19 vaccine providers at KCENTV.com. So now let's take a look at cases across our area. McLennan County reported 209 new cases today and 4 more deaths. There are now over 1,000 active cases in the county and 162 people in the hospital with the virus, up about 30 from yesterday. In Bell County, they saw 154 new cases. There are also about almost 2,000 active cases in the county right now. Colorado has confirmed the first known case in the U.S. of a more infectious variant of COVID-19 that's been spreading rapidly in parts of the U.K. The patient, a man in his 20s, reportedly hadn't traveled recently. It is worrying news to health experts who are also on alert for waves of new cases after more Americans traveled over Christmas weekend than at any other point during the pandemic. Sarah Dolph breaks it all down for us.
A more contagious COVID variant first detected in the UK, now in the U.S. Colorado officials confirming the first known case, a man in his 20s who had not recently traveled. A worrying development for overwhelmed hospitals bracing for a post-holiday surge after millions traveled over Christmas.
There is no question we are going to see another surge just like we did after Thanksgiving.
The country adding more than 1 million new cases in less than a week, with total cases soaring past 19 million. The CDC projecting the U.S. could surpass 400,000 deaths by mid-January. And vaccine distribution efforts are off to a slower start than initially projected.
We knew this for months, and we just didn't do the planning, and now we're trying to play catch-up. I do think we're going to catch up. I think states are going to figure this out.
Operation Warp Speed planned to have 20 million doses to states by the end of the year, a goal it will miss by several million.
It's only 15 days since the first vaccine were given, so things will evolve. They will optimize over the next week or so, and you'll see, millions and millions more vaccines.
President-elect Joe Biden criticizing that pace while setting an ambitious goal for his first 100 days in office, 100 million vaccine shots distributed.
Even if we boost the speed of vaccinations to 1 million shots a day, it will still take months to have the majority of the United States population vaccinated.
Around 2 million Americans have received their initial doses, numbers health experts want to increase quickly to save lives. Sarah Dolph, NBC News.
All right, let's get you a check of the forecast. Meteorologist Bill Heggie in with me tonight. Hey, Bill.
Hey, Leslie, and hey to you. We've got the cloudy skies Throughout the evening, nighttime, we've had intermittent rain and drizzle. The drizzle very light. The rain has been anywhere from light to moderate, and the temperatures are 63. Still a brisk wind now at 16 miles per hour. And we're just looking at pretty good visibility across the area. The winds have stayed up, and that keeps mixing next to Earth's surface so we can't develop the fog. 63 and 16 at Waco. We'll start tomorrow with wet weather, and we'll just keep it. And we'll come back with your forecast in a short while.
All right, thanks, Bill. $600 stimulus checks may be in some Americans' accounts as early as tonight. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin tweeted earlier today that the U.S. Treasury had delivered a payment file to the Federal Reserve for Americans' economic impact payments. These payments may begin to arrive in some accounts by direct deposit tonight and will continue through next week. Now, he also says paper checks will start getting mailed out tomorrow, and you can check on the payment status at irs.gov/getmypayment. The last round of PPP loans was largely unregulated, and it was criticized for favoring big businesses. Because of that, there are now some new rules this time. First, the loans are capped at $2 million per business compared to $10 million before. Second, applicants must have less than 300 employees, and they must prove at least a 25% drop in sales from the same time in 2019. Publicly traded companies are not eligible, and $12 billion has been set aside specifically for minority-owned businesses. Businesses can still apply for this new round of loans, even if they got one before. A special tree in North Texas, known for bringing joy to hundreds during the holidays, has mysteriously disappeared. City leaders say they don't know what happened to it. But as Eric Alvarez shows us, residents who've seen that tree for the last 3 decades aren't letting its memory be taken away as well.
High atop of windswept Texas stood a crooked little tree.
It's a story many in Cowtown already know.
Nothing else was on the hill, nothing at all.
The Homeless Christmas Tree by Leslie Gordon tells the tale of a real-life tree off Interstate 30 in Fort Worth, and how back in the 80s, a kind woman decorated it for families who didn't have trees of their own.
To bring Christmas joy to the homeless.
When my daughter was old enough, my family passed the story on to her.
And the light from his star shone brightly for all the people in the city.
I remember seeing that bright spot every December from when I was about 5 years old until I went off to college. It's something of a tradition around here to drive past it and feel a sense of Christmas wonder, no matter how old you are. At least, it used to be.
There would be no Christmas tree for the homeless.
After Christmas this year, the stump of the old tree, a sapling growing to take its place, and a memorial bench vanished. The Texas Department of Transportation owns the land, but says it didn't remove them. Fort Worth Police and the mayor's office can't say what happened either. But despite the mystery,
something wonderful happened.
People started remembering, sharing pictures and stories from over the years.
What use is one ugly little tree?
I'll tell you what, inspiring over 30 years of memories and helping us consider those who are less fortunate. And even though the tree is gone, it's up to us to make sure its message lives on.
As the story of the little tree spread
in Fort Worth,
the little tree was happy.
I'm Eric Alvarez.
I wonder what happened to it. Meteorologist Bill Heckey's back after the break with a look at more rain in our area. Keep it here.
Well, we are expecting some pretty significant changes now. The general pattern we have is this is a good trough of low pressure that's working up toward the Gulf of Alaska, but we've got a big ridge of high pressure, and then it makes a curve and supports this trough of low pressure, a long ways trough. We've got a high pressure ridge out over the southeastern U.S. and the eastern U.S. clockwise circulation. So what we're doing is with this clockwise circulation, all this cold air is starting to feed south. This low counterclockwise circulation bringing more cold air down, putting it into that flow pattern. So we surge cool air to the south. Now this air in here is about 15 degrees cooler than what's over us now. Now this is off surface, but we do support this big trough of low pressure. Also in the base of a trough, a lot of times where it makes a U-turn, you get that clockwise circulation and U-turn to support the trough. When the base of that trough is where you can spin out a low pressure area, and then when the low kicks out along that trough of low pressure, coming down behind it will be the cold surge. And then out ahead of it, if you look at this flow pattern from the southwest, and then the flow coming off the Gulf right up through our I-35 corridors where we have the winds coming aloft, we've got the warm moist air, we've got just enough lift under the cloud deck to support the rain and rain showers. When this front comes in and the associated low, that's heavy air, and heavy air will ride close to the ground. It'll wedge beneath our warm moist air and give it some good vertical velocity or good lift. That's when we'll get the heavier downpours, cumuliform clouds, and possible thunderstorm. All that's coming our way. So right now and into tonight and probably tomorrow morning, primarily the light rain, drizzle. We'll build in some rain showers. We'll get a little more lift, a little more vertical velocity going, and then we'll see a few heavier showers as we move into tomorrow. Temperatures right now still in the 60s, got that warm air advection, the flow pattern coming in off the Gulf, and we've got cloud cover that holds the heat beneath it. It's like a blanket over top of us. So we're not going to drop temperatures much. We'll start to see them come down out to the west and northwest first, but our front won't go through us until tomorrow afternoon. Sustained winds are still up there. They're about 10 to 15 miles per hour. We still have a few wind gusts, and some of those as high as 25 miles per hour. So we'll start tomorrow probably low to middle 60s. We won't top out that much higher, but in the afternoon when the winds go northwest 10 to 20 and start gusting to 30, cold air advection, we'll start to notice that. Plus we'll move from the lighter precipitation to the better chance for rain showers with a thunderstorm possible. Lightning's always a danger. A heavy downpour can reduce your visibility, lead to ponding and puddling, and that could lead to hydroplaning, so slow it down and be aware of the lightning danger. Here we get to cold air. Now again, that cold air is going beneath the warm moist air, so we cool, and again, no heat exchange due to the cloud cover, but a gusty north wind. Pretty good chance of showers, rain, overrun rain to the end of this period. Then we'll shut down the moisture. Overnight Thursday, we're going to cloud clear, and we'll start our brand new year with a cold start, probably 28 to 33 across the area. Make it up to 51, still a gusty wind dying down in the afternoon, 31 and 56 for Saturday, a little bit of warming right on through Monday. We'll increase clouds Monday night into Tuesday, a little bit of a front, 39 to 60, minor cool down. So be safe tomorrow. We'll be back after the break.
Life is all about finding the good and becoming a little bit better. Join me, Leslie Draffin, as I share stories, give tips, and help you on your journey to live your best life. Watch Your Best Life Wednesdays at 5, only on Channel 6. Are you or do you know a veteran in crisis? Call the Veterans Crisis Line today. Welcome back. The defense attorney for the woman connected to the death of Vanessa Guillen wants to delay her trial. That tops our 6 more things to know tonight. In July, Cecily Aguilar was charged with tampering with documents or proceedings and conspiracy to tamper with documents or proceedings. She pled not guilty and was scheduled to be rearraigned January 5th with a trial on January 19th. Now, court documents show Public Defender Louis Gaynor asked the court for at least 30 more days to complete his review of discovery and investigations. A criminal complaint accuses Specialist Aaron Robinson of killing Guillen on Fort Hood April 22nd. It alleges that he, along with Aguilar, dismembered Guillen's body and then buried her near the Leon River in Bell County. Robinson killed himself as officers approached to arrest him last summer. Nashville residents and business owners were finally able to see the damage done to their properties by the Christmas Day bombing, but they were told they couldn't take photos yet, and some couldn't even go inside their properties because it's still an active crime scene. Investigators say the man behind the bombing died in the blast. There were no other deaths. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is facing 7 lawsuits accusing them of covering up decades of sexual abuse among Boy Scout troops in Arizona. The lawsuits were filed by 7 different men. They claim they told the church about being sexually abused while participating in those church-sponsored Boy Scout troops. Their attorneys say the church officials told the victims they would investigate, but they never did. The lawsuit alleges church bishops told the children to keep quiet about the allegations and then allowed troop leaders and volunteers accused of that sexual abuse to continue in their roles. In a statement, a church spokesperson says in part, quote, "The faith has zero tolerance for abuse of any kind." After nearly 2 years, the first commercial flight of that Boeing 737 MAX jet took off from Miami this morning, headed to New York. The MAX jet was grounded in March 2019 after 346 people were killed in 2 crashes. A congressional investigation said the crashes were, quote, "the horrific culmination of a series of faulty technical assumptions by Boeing's engineers, a lack of transparency on the part of Boeing's management, and grossly insufficient oversight by the FAA." A 20-month safety ban was lifted in November, and ahead of today's flight, American Airlines President Robert Isom said they have complete confidence in that new aircraft, but they will allow passengers to opt out if they want to. Well, what better way to end the train wreck of a year 2020 was than to win a whopping lottery jackpot? These are the last drawings of the year for both Mega Millions and Powerball, and both games feature huge jackpots. Now, today's Mega Millions jackpot drawing was worth $376 million, so make sure you check those tickets. The Powerball, slightly less, only $363 million, and that drawing is tomorrow. Now, in case you were wondering, the odds of winning Mega Millions are 1 in 303 million. The Powerball, 1 in 293 million, but you know what? I don't know what the odds are of us having a worldwide pandemic, but maybe it's looking up for you. A Florida man captures the moments when a small plane made an emergency landing on a beach. It happened just south of Fort Lauderdale. That is a single-engine Cessna, pretty much coming out unscathed on the sand. According to the FAA, the pilot, who was the only person on board, was forced to land the plane. He was not hurt, though. The exact cause of that forced landing still under investigation. Sports is next. Keep it here.
Ever since the birth of my son, he's become the biggest part of my life. I love getting out and showing him the world, and obviously the weather dictates what we can do. And that's true for all of us. I'm always looking out for my family and yours too, because knowing the weather helps us plan our day, so moments like these can happen. I'm Texas Today meteorologist Zach Scott. When it comes to our weather, you can expect more.
Watch Your Best Life Wednesdays at 5, only on Channel 6.
Get ahead of the weather with Channel 6 News. Expect more.
Well, after a week off, the Baylor Bears returned to the hardwood this afternoon, playing host to Central Arkansas, and they showed the nation exactly why they have that 2 next to their name. Inside the Farrell Center, filled to 25% capacity, we pick things up right out of the gate. Jared Butler 1-2 steps to the hoop and misses, but gets his own rebound and puts it in. The Bears up 8-0. Then Butler kicks this one out to Davion Mitchell, who gets it to go from downtown, and Baylor takes a 10-6 lead. 5 minutes till the half. Adam Flager rolls to his left and pulls up, shoots for 3, and it's good. The Bears went into the half up 53-35. They continued that momentum out of the break, starting on a 13-0 run. 5 Bears finished in double figures in scoring, led by Maceo Teague, who had a game-high 20 points. Baylor remains unbeaten this season, winning big 93-56 the final. And with a handful of Bears playing with big numbers on offense, Teague says it's all about sharing the ball and preparing to play at the next level.
But we just know we got to share the sugar. That's one of our themes in the basketball program. We just try to share the sugar with each other and keep everybody involved, because we know that everybody can make shots. Everybody's really capable. Everybody on the team wants to go and play at the next level, and this kind of makes us feel like we're playing at the next level with a back-to-back game like they do in the NBA.
The Bears now have about 14 hours before they return to the court to host Elkhorn State. That game tips off at 2 p.m. tomorrow. And the number 7 Lady Bears return to Big 12 play on Saturday, traveling to Fort Worth to take on TCU before coming back here to the Farrell Center to play number 4 UConn on Thursday night. The reigning national champions are coming off 3 straight victories, all of which by over 30 points. The last 2 set a record of most points in school history in back-to-back games with a combined 253 points. But head coach Kim Mulkey knows the difficulty of opponents will only go up from here.
There won't be any more games like, the last 2 or 3 that we had. We know when you get to conference how difficult it is. And then when you take a program, as the elite program that Connecticut is, we know what we face with those guys.
And a tip time for Saturday's game is set for 1 p.m. in Fort Worth. And the number 5 Texas A&M Aggies are set to take on 13th ranked University of North Carolina on Saturday in the Orange Bowl. This is the program's 12th straight bowl appearance. The 2020 Orange Bowl will mark the Aggies' first appearance in the college football playoff era New Year's 6 bowl games. Jimbo Fisher's squad finished the regular season with an 8-1 record and sit at number 4 in the SEC for total rushing yards with 1,826 this season. 986 of those come thanks to Isaiah Spiller, who is the 3rd best rusher in the conference. The matchup will be the first in program history for the Aggies and the Tar Heels.
I think our mindset each and every week is that we have something to prove, and I don't think it's anything to prove to other people, but we just want to continue to get better as a team and continue to grow. And I think that's just the main thing in our mindset each and every week that we play.
That game kicks off Saturday at 7 p.m. at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. And that's a look at sports. We'll be right back.
The all-new 6 News app. Download it today.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Andy Anderson. When it comes to our weather, you can expect more.
Well, I've got to run out. Check my mega number. I do have my ticket, Leslie, so I got it. We're going from mild to wild. We're going to have our mild temperatures overnight tonight. It's generally rain and drizzle. Tomorrow we'll go heavier showers, possible thunderstorm, gusty winds. Cool down, we'll end the showers and bring in the new year on the cold side.
Yes, we will. All right, thanks so much, Bill. That is all our time for tonight. Have a great one. We'll see you back here tomorrow.